Somebody big just died, a community activist, the owner of Murphy's Bleachers across the street from Wrigley Field, and a thorn in the side of Chicago Cubs management. Beth Murphy is dead at the age of 68. And here to memorialize her is Mike North. Mike, how are you?
I think of Beth Murphy, I think of America. I think of America. And, people, when we go over each person that dies, and recently we had a couple people that died, and we were on the borderline of some people. And I said, well, for instance, so-and-so really hadn't done anything for a long time. Nobody even knew. The wire service hardly picked her up. Or her. And then Joe Pepitone came up. And we said, wait a minute. He comes from the second biggest market, Chicago, New York, and the response was great. Harry Belafonte, our numbers were good. But I guarantee you, the podcast we did with Jerry Springer, okay, because Harry Belafonte was 96, and quite frankly, people don't want to hear about how older people that were once younger people and decent and did things to help America. So I started thinking about Beth Murphy. And then I said, if there's any bar in America, okay, that may not know who Beth Murphy is, they're going to know today because that's what this show's all about, okay? Because when you have the TV games, whether it's on Fox or ESPN, where do they usually show it from? I know they could show from Sluggers, and love those people, Bernie's, okay, but they're more local. They're where Channel 2 will go. Eldo knows this. He produced many of these. Channel 7 will go. But for national recognition and for what turned out to be the godsend, a combination of savvy politics, addition of the establishment, which I was in before they bought it, which I'll tell you about in a minute. Because this is why I do this show. Because most of the people that I've known and been close to or met are starting to die. Okay? That's just the way it is. We're like firemen, me and Eldo. We didn't have a death for a month. Next thing you know, the alarm goes off, the light goes off, we put our helmets on, and we're down here. That's it. But if you're not on this show, you weren't big. And if anybody was big, it was her husband, Jim, and Beth. He died 20 years ago. The place only got better. Sometimes it doesn't go that way. But it used to be called, before it was bought, Murphy's Bleachers, Ray's Bleachers, before Murphy's Bleachers. There was a pool table, one building, and a pool table in the middle. The bar was long. The pool table during game days wasn't played. They put a board over it where we stood. I'm a 17, 18-year-old guy having the time of my life in there. But then they bought, and everybody's going, oh, no! Oh, no! And then you saw what they did with it. You saw what they did. And they got bigger and bought the place next door. And then they employed so many people. And it became a destination for anybody that came in from St. Louis. All good-natured stuff. Anybody that came in from any town. Cleveland, you name it, Murphy. You're going there. You'll hit the other ones. You'll run into them. But there's a lot of changeover in those bars. I know. Because there's one bar I used to go to that's had like 7 names since. The one, it was called the Extra Innings, was there. I shot pool with Willie Hernandez. I said to myself, no wonder this guy can't get out of his way. It's 11 o'clock, he's shooting pool with me. Then the next year he won the Cy Young for Detroit. How do I know? He wasn't a daytime guy like Dennis Eckersley. We'd see them all. But at Murphy's Bleachers, Billy Williams walks in after a game. Rick Sutcliffe, Mark Grace, and you're a bunch of people.
Mm-hmm.
That's Brooklyn Dodgers stuff. Oh, the Brooklyn Dodgers. Who will ever forget Pee Wee Reese with the shoemaker in the neighborhood there in the offseason? Or Oh, Campy, Roy Campanella. Yeah, yeah. He owned a used car lot during the off season. No, the players who are making millions come in to that place.
Mhm.
If you're gonna meet a ball player, that's it. And I know we talked about her politics already, but fighting with the Ricketts, I think, made money for everybody because the whole neighborhood changed as soon as the rooftop owners, which she was in charge of, went along with the plan. Am I not wrong, Aldo?
That is correct. She objected to the fact that the Cubs had plans to block this site of the rooftop owners, and they had their own business on top of the rooftops. And she became a thorn in the side of Cubs management, and the entire community was on her side. And she continued to have battles with Cubs management. There was one instance where one of her coworkers saw some Ron Santo memorabilia in a trash bin, tons of it.
Mm-hmm.
And she immediately had that memorabilia collected and sent over to Ron's son and let people know that the Cubs were throwing away all of this great Ron Santo memorabilia. And she did it as kind of a poke to the Cubs management because she really had a maybe disdain might be too strong a word, but she had some conflicts with Cubs management. That is for sure. And
Well,
a little. Go ahead, Mike.
her dad wasn't political. I mean, her
Mm.
husband, nobody was political as far as just let's just run it. Now, I met her husband 20 way before when I was rolling at the station.
Jim Murphy.
Jim, met him, walked in, did a couple things there for him. Okay, short guy, Irishman, gregarious, good guy, businessman, owned a castle in
Mm-hmm.
Ireland. He,
Wow.
I'm thinking I'm king of the road. I come walking in, I own a castle. How about you? Oh, wait. With the moat and everything? Yeah. I got a condo on Foster and D. That's what I do. With a window unit. Okay.
That's how it is.
But I had met Beth and she just said hello.
Mm-hmm.
Then I see Beth 20 years later say hi to her. My nephew Brian Serwinski worked for for Murphy's Bleachers. My buddy Dave Carson, God bless him, managed at Murphy's Bleachers. My
Wow.
vendor nephew now, Doug North, has
Mm-hmm.
gone there many times. He told him, I hope you know I told him go see somebody from the Cubs and tell him who your uncle is, who was a vendor. Got a job right away, so connections help.
Indeed.
But they all go to Murphy's Bleachers.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just a one-of-a-kind bar. And I think we're doing this because of the creation, to tell people who did it. Because most places are called something, and the owners sold 50 years ago.
Yeah.
He just passed away and at a very young 68, 69 years old. And
Yeah.
that's what happens to bar owners. Weird
Right.
hours, eating bad, promoting the hell out of things, and then you're taking on neighborhood stuff.
Yeah. And that establishment was actually first established in 1930. It was known then as Ernie's Bleachers.
Yeah.
And it passed ownership a couple of times in 1980. Jim, as you just mentioned, he bought it. And then he passed away in 2003. And that's when Beth took over. And she did an outstanding job. Everyone in the community just spoke so highly of her, how kind she was, how she looked out for people in the community and so forth. I never got the chance to meet her, although I have frequented the establishment a few times, but I never got a chance to meet her. I wish I would have, because by all accounts, she was a great woman. And Rick Sutcliffe put this up on Twitter. Y'all, it's been a tough day. I'm hurting. We lost a great friend in Beth Murphy. I knew Jim Murphy well. He was the father of Murphy's Bleachers. Beth was its mother. She nurtured it, cared for it, and watched it grow. She will be missed, but not forgotten.
Yeah, and my parting words will be this: that when I went in there, I said, wow. And during the winter, when Wrigleyville is usually dead, okay, take it from a guy who used to go, and I'm not exaggerating, 10 to 12 bars sometimes at a night. You have a couple drinks at each one. Okay? Going out, seeing what's going on. There was many a snowy night when Wrigleyville closed early. The one thing she did that I think was better than anybody's done over there ever was make it a stopping place during the off season.
Yeah.
Because they used to have the Bears there during the winter. Those those 6 Sundays, 8 games would make it their winter. Make their winter. Because the Cubs never did crowds like the Bears. You know? That went away. She made it relevant again during the offseason. So I just want to say thanks to Beth Murphy for improving Chicago, for fighting for Chicago, to doing something that everybody knows that Eldo and I admire, going up against the big guys and slugging it out with them. You can sleep a peaceful sleep knowing you did so many things for so many people.
And the next time someone in your family passes or a friend, please recommend Cumberland Chapels over in Norwich.
They're on, and let me tell you this, there's no waiting. They'll get to you. They treat you like you're the owner of the place. Okay? Don't forget, they take away some of the burden. They don't take it away all. You're going to take a burden with me while you're doing the uncomfortable thing by saying you need a casket. It's a fine thing. What they take the burden of is we'll take care of everything perfect. Okay? They're not out to get you. Here is what we'd recommend. Okay? And it's not always the high end. They go to your needs. They talk to you. They get to know you. That's what they do at Cumberland Chapels. And then over there at Pennyville Station, anybody that remembers the Pasta shows, well, that was in Edison Park, and that was by Tino Antonacci. His son, Tony. Just, I mean, through COVID and everything else, nurtured this business. You go to North, I'll put up the menu. You can go check them out now on the web. Check out how great they are. Banquets, private rooms. The food is unbelievable. Italian, great service. You don't have to wait. They call. You want to order some, it's ready for you. And then if you do want to have somebody that you've lost, Cumberland Chapels, and then a hop, skip, and a jump for the dinner. Rehearsals for weddings. That's what they do. Who knows? I may stop in. That's right. To the wedding. Depends what the menu is. Anyway. Aldo?
Well, we want to wish everyone well. Thank you for joining us on this episode of Somebody Big Just Died. And to the Murphy family, we offer our condolences on the passing of Beth Murphy. We'll see you all next time.